ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Shyzalosophy 101. Yeah, alright, that's a good part. Here's your host, Shyzabox. Is the show starting? It must be. Oh, we heard our introduction. Oh, everybody loves us. Oh, we're the favorite of everyone. Oh, girl. Whoa. Oh, girl. Whoa. Oh. What the hell? Get out of here. Hold on. Oh, jeez. Please, I swear. Happens all the time. Get back here. Never goes right when you want it to go right. Excellent. Where were we? And the horse. You wrote in on. Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, nuns and all. That's right, priests, preachers, cardinals, bishops, rabbis, missionaries, individuals, boys, girls, lads, lasses, this, that, the other, anything in between. That's right, welcome ones, welcome all. We have got a show for you today. You might be saying, I wish you didn't. Well, fair enough, but keep in mind, Internet, it's free. That's right. Also, keep in mind, Internet, you get what you pay for. Yes, a few people may take issue, may have problems, well, you didn't pay for it, so there you go. Excellent. All right, so where were we before we were so rudely interrupted by making ourselves work, seeing as how it's our show and we can do whatever we want? Yes, that was funny, because we're hilarious sometimes, like all the time. When you called Daryl Dixon dibs of being the best of the worst internet celebrity there is, which we did, okay? That's right, something to celebrate. If you're familiar with a little show called Walking Dead, which you should be, that's right, you know that Daryl Dixon dibs is inherently, a viable apparatus, okay, within the perimeters one can operate in, all right? So when we called Daryl Dixon dibs of being the best of the worst internet celebrity there is, we thought to ourselves, why not make ourselves work now? So that's what we're doing. And believe you me, you might be saying, what the hell kind of work is this? Who cares? Point is that you know us. We're all about the future. All right? That's right. And the future is here now. Ironically, still again, even though it's the present. Don't worry about it. It's like one of those conundrums, only there's a better word for it. Like a word like conundrum, okay? Point is that the future is now, and everyone's been thinking to themselves, ourselves, is there a screensaver that exists on Web3 yet, right? That's right. It's been on the minds of all of the, individuals who've entertained such a thought, okay? Point being is that where there may have never been a screensaver before, there's one now. You're welcome. That's right. You can go to IPFS now, go all the way down to the very, very, very bottom, and we have migrated the game, formerly Joey's Trash, has been moved to the arcade, all right, the game that we, partially made on stream there, or whatever, and uploaded to the site, okay, that's been moved over to the arcade, as we said we would, and we've done a couple things on the site now, too, all right, Mayo Mental, that's right, the musical apparatus where you're able to not only fist Granny's jar of mayo till your heart's content, you can also now fist Granny's tube of mayo, you can fist Granny's tub of mayo, and you can mix your own Granny's mayo special recipe. That's right. It's our gift to you, Internet. It's because we love you. That's right. So Mayo Mental, literally the mayonnaise musical demo, is available on the IPFS site right now. You can literally send your buddies links of you playing with a fist going in and out of Granny's mayo tub. That's right, it's hilarious. So go to the IPFS site, feel free to get that. It's in the audio section all the way down. But we're talking about the future, okay? That's right, that's right. And believe you me, everyone's been sitting back wondering, whoa, what's the next big thing? Okay? Hi, Shyza. Yes, hello. Hi and shit as well. Excellent. We joke, we kid. Excellent. Yes, hi to you, DNL de Renech. We can call you DNL de Renech, right? Of course we can. So, D, baby, we were saying, you go down now, all right, and we migrated from the trash bin section or whatever all the way at the bottom, moved out to the arcade because it was a game that, you know, we were making as a placeholder. We made it on stream with whoever was there that day. You know, some awesome folks, of course, obviously. And now we actually have the future, which is here now, a working screensaver for Web 3. That's right. You can now go to the IPFS site. You can go all the way down to the very, very, very bottom, okay? And now Joey's Trash, okay, will be a working screensaver for Web 3. That's right. Now you're going to have to make your way past all those fun games and demos we got. Yeah. Quite the conundrum. Do you stop and play Joey's Meat Run? I don't know. Maybe you do. Because once you get it to load, you can download the whole site, and it'll all work without internet. Decentralized. IPFS. That's right. The future is here. The future is now. We actually were playing around with the screensaver a bit, and we accidentally left it on because we'll, like, test stuff on mobile and PC and try and optimize it for, you know, working iterations of both and things of that nature. That's right. We like things to work as many places as possible that we can possibly allow them to, and best of our ability. Okay. Comes up short a little bit, like in the case of the game based on Teresa's Scary Poems for Kids. The, you know, game that we made based on this for our buddy's book, you know, it's kind of broken on PC or mobile and we haven't fixed it yet. But we will eventually sometime. We should probably do that sooner or later because it keeps becoming an example of what we use for, you know, some of our things that are lacking thereof. Okay? Now, it's not necessarily our best work, okay? But there are some fantastic visuals and things that we've done on it, and it's come a long way from where it once was. It's just not the focus of what we do, and, you know, it's one of those works of love for one of our buddies and things of that nature. That's right. You know, that brings that to the table. But as we do and venture out into these other realms and endeavors of cleaning up other aspects and components, it's on the list, and we'll get to it because we want everything there to be, you know, fun enough, all working order and things of that nature. But when you're rocking the, you know, site itself, and you're going through the, you know, offerings that are on it, right, there's above Mayo Mental, okay, there's a little thing called the Kalimba, digital Kalimba thing, right? No, let's call it something, whatever we call it. Point is that it's pretty awesome, man. You can actually record and customize your own digital kalimba on the site for free. Okay? Everything on the site's for free. The LimeWire-inspired music player, Mayo Mental, the Granny's Fist the Jar Mayo game, you know, that's on there free, the audio checker. The different demos, the games, they're all on the IPFS site. They're all free. Okay? That's right. Something to celebrate. Because, as we think, the future is here, the future is now, the future is being able to make these games on stream and share them with, you know, the community, people day of, and, you know, be able to do favors for individuals and make changes to programs and update different things. Like, we had an update to the LimeWire-inspired music player, right? We got to probably get a better name for that thing. How do you describe it without, you know, utilizing that of the greatness that came before, though, right? That's right. You know, people think back to the nostalgic eras of, you know, music-y and listening times of past and things of that nature. And back in the LimeWire days, back in the Napster days, back in the, you know, maybe sync up with some other individuals on some network days. Okay, be careful. There were components to that listening experience for music, all right, that inherently, when music migrated to more of the digital age and things of that nature, was available in that listening way, shape, and form right out of the gate, right? somewhere it fell off the map a little bit. Somewhere it got a little too commercialized, and, all of the entities that be took what should be nice, fun, fancy listening music, okay, and converted it into a giant commercial. Okay? Man, not really the most fun, but it is what it is, right? And to some degree, maybe there's a great payoff in all of that, okay? But as we sit back, as we enjoy the fact that we're in the future, which consists of the present, okay, which for some, like ourselves, ironically, is gonna end up being the past, okay, but ironically exists in the present, where it is in the future, where you presently exist within it, right? It's a big paradox. That's that word from earlier. That's right. Point is that as we move forward into the future, as we start to continue and create, these things that are in place, these elements of, protocols and things of that nature, as we, showcase how it's way easier for some, rich individual like Elon Musk to show up with a briefcase full of money, all right, at our door, and some tricked out Tesla for a sign-on bonus, okay, showcasing merely that of why it's better to just house an NDA with an entity or an individual versus, going through the painstaking process of making a, RFP or the request for proposal, anything like that, all right? There inherently is a iteration, a form of having to deal with those processes that inherently, now that he's got $1 trillion, he can just afford to pay to jump around, right? What better way than for him to pay us? That's right. Something to celebrate for sure. But as we make mention of Elon Musk, okay, whether you like him or hate him, we do need to take the time now, all right, in this stream, to apologize for our last stream. So, sorry about that. All right, excellent. Now that we're on an even page again, okay, and we apologized, okay, obviously, all is forgiven, probably, most likely, as we think of how we resonate into the, future endeavors with that of anyone else who ventures in as much, okay, or is, types of processes and things of that nature, then it's very, very, very fun, all right, to begin and entertain the ideas of what else that can be made, created, implemented, and brought into that of what exists and what is and what can be, not only the present, but the future as well, okay? While the future is here, while we have screensavers, we can now take that, we can adapt it, we can make different kinds, we can make different shapes, different forms, different aspects and components, okay? We love working with individuals and getting the emails with ideas for games to house and make and things of that nature. Hi, my name is. Well, looks like that got cut off or something. Weird. Well, hello, my name is. Point being that as you continue to, contemplate us ourselves, at least as individuals, as we begin to contemplate that of what can be and that of what is and that of what has been made and that of what we have yet to, venture into potentially making as well in the future, it's a fascinating thing, all right? Every time we get these ideas or things that are bounced in from the community, okay, and then we bring them to fruition, make them take form and shape, all right? Now, as we've talked with the community and everything like that, about where to necessarily migrate and move, things to, and even though they're just inherently our ideas ourselves, that, sometimes may be what takes precedence or gets expressed, depending on, turnout and or participation or things of that nature, It's those little components and aspects when others do participate that end up yielding the big results. Thusly, we enjoy utilizing those components and aspects, okay? Because they bring forth the most yieldings of the fun dynamics that are offered, okay? When we think of how Mayo Mental was created, okay, and why it exists, okay, it's the most ridiculous thing ever. Now there's 4 different working iterations of Granny's Mayo that you can fist into and enjoy the plethora of soundage that, permeates and emanates from it. Okay? It's ridiculous. You go to the IPFS site, you go down to Mayo Mental, you play with it for a while, you forward the link to a buddy, someone maybe gives us a quarter sometime. We make 25 cents. Fantastic. We'll be not rich in no time. Fantastic. But as we think to ourselves, what else is on the agenda? What else do we have going on? What is, in the works for the next components of all aspects of, this, that, the other, taking form and shape? We think to ourselves as well, additionally, about not only the future being now, us residing in the future, with screensaver technology now being pretty much caught up to Web 3. Again, this is all for philosophical entertainment, if you are unaware. Everything is, of course, though our math and science remains audible completely, theoretically possible and plausible. You can check it out on Kaggle. That's right. We don't hide behind any of the math or science components thereof. Feel free to audit the hell out of us. Bold claims on the internet nowadays, Cotton. We wish that a lot more individuals would actually have some of their, thought and theory and things like that open and objectively capable to be looked at, viewed, or, even critiqued, all right, even judged, okay? We as philosophers have to put our works and our ego and our psyche and every component and aspect of us on the table for anyone to critique or judge. Okay, that's right. Now, there's some components and aspects of that. Of course, you can go with the whole mask aspect and component of everyone wears masks. Everyone has, that of who they are, that of who they wish to be, and that of who they portray in different components and aspects of their lives. Okay? With that being the case, obviously, as a philosopher, as one that, conveys our thoughts and our psyche and our consciousness, our wishes, well-beings, and desires to anyone who wants to listen to it or partake in it, entertain that of our literary works, or contemplate that of enjoyment of our, computational games and working demos on the IPFS site, okay? Doesn't matter which route you want to take. If you want to play with any of the artifacts, you can. You can play with a physical book, or you can play with a digital game. Either way, they both exist, and both of them, originate from that of our psyche and, our own consciousness and thoughts. As a philosopher, it's very important to convey every single component, then, of your psyche, of your ego, all right, and put it objectively out there for, like we said, critique, for judgment, for anything like that. That's why all of our cosmological philosophy and all of our actual mathematical code is open and available for anyone to audit and check out. Now, let's take that back. Most of all of our notebooks that we at least claim anything therefrom are open and available for anyone to check out. We got a couple that might be sectioned off for proprietary reasons and or things of that nature. Yeah, we'd boo it too. Don't worry about it. Point is that the stuff exists and it's all open for anyone to check over and do. But as philosophers, as we state things, as we convey that we have opinions, views, and beliefs that might be pertaining to one thing or another, it is important to such a degree, all right, to convey that of all the components and dynamics that make up one's ego. So when it comes down to theology and talking about religion or anything like that, obviously we entertain all components and aspects thereof it. That's why we have theological works. That's why we, read all of the, literary endeavors that we do and study that of which we have, all right? We do it all so that we are able to at least hold a conversation and or entertain a thought from another's, entertaining of whatever, the topic may be surrounding it, okay? And we can then hold our own opinions, views, and beliefs correlative to that. So as a philosopher, as a self-published author, as an independent researcher, as a solo, coding, whatever the hell we make fun games and shit like that and demos on the IPFS, okay? Doesn't matter. When it comes down to it, it's all of this stuff, all right, whether it's a book, whether it's a game, whether it's a demo, all right, that gets used by others, that gets read by others, that gets played by others, that gives us the greatest enjoyment out of all of it, okay? That's why we offer all the games for free. We love getting the feedback like, hey, we went on and played Mayo Mental, and I fisted Granny's mayo jar so hard, it was funny, okay? I mean, there's not too much you can say about it, but we love hearing it. It sucks. Hey! Good one, Mom. Yes. Well, whatever you think about it, whether it sucks or doesn't suck, it's free. That's right. Fantastic. And believe you me, while a lot of stuff may be free in one way, shape, or form, this is completely at the mere cost of waiting or contending with that of what is an IPFS, utilization thereof, okay? That's right, because the future is now, as we have working games, as we have working demos, as we have working theory, as we have monograph lectin in our book Delectable, okay? Don't buy the physical copy of this, it's expensive. Get it digitally if you want it. For real. The physical one's like $250. It's not worth that unless you're rich. The information inside inherently droves more. Depends on how you interpret it. Metaphysics is crazy. Good. Everything's stated. Everything's for philosophical entertainment. Excellent. Okay? Point is that as we venture forward into the future, as we are in the future now, remember, everything is in the wild, wild west of Web 3 in that dynamic and aspect and component of where things are, okay? Now, some of you might celebrate, but as Web 3 gets bigger and as more programming gets put onto, the networks, and as more, nodes and individuals disseminate information from and whatnot, and as more people get comfortable with the technology, and as more individuals and companies begin making stuff, eventually everyone's going to realize that the future isn't all of this, data centers and compiling information and data here, there, the other. No, it's decentralization. That's the future. That's the only way you're going to mitigate all of these, kind of old school thermodynamic, feelings, thoughts, views, and beliefs. Now, these big companies, theoretically, okay, are going to have some decisions to make, all right, at certain forks and crossroads and things of that nature, as other companies begin developing and utilizing and architecturally implementing things into their strategies and business practices that actually put them in such a massive upgraded operational capacity, especially for light companies, that'll blow the competition out of the water like they're pirates, right? It'll be just like anyone listening to the LimeWire-inspired music player, first thing on the audio and the IPFS site, and going to the iDone update, listening to that, and watching the stick men dancing around as the pirate comes by and knocks them over. Okay? It's hilarious. It's not nice. You wouldn't sell that internet. You wouldn't celebrate that. It's not nice for the pirate to come and knock over all the stick people dancing. But it is funny. Yes, laughter warranted. But as we sit back, as we make mention yet again, broken record sometimes, but on occasion, that's what, makes the point in history that you yourself may be at now, hearing this, or that we ourselves may be at now, speaking this, right? It's all of those components and dynamics that make that up, right? That make it into the future of what is the present and what is the future, which is the present currently, okay? So as long as these things keep getting upgraded, as long as these things keep getting, transmutated to the forms and capacities that they do and are, okay, the payoff is going to be not only very, very beneficial for the programs that get created and implemented and added to Web3, but, with entities like us, with no oversight, not being under an NDA, some of those programs are going to be funny as hell. That's right. Mayo Mental would not exist. I guarantee you, if we were under an NDA, working for IBM or for Elon of the Musk as his lapdog, don't knock it till you try it. I mean, we haven't been his lapdog, but we would be. We sell out fast. Point is that, with these other apparatuses there and things like that, there's no oversight. We can make things that are funny, like Mayo Mental. Okay? We can get the Fisk Granny's Mayo Jar on the market. We can get the Joey's Meat Run on the market, okay? Because they're funny as hell. Okay? Watching some Joey monster come and hunk pieces of meat at you while you're running with your meat tray trying to avoid stuff and jumping, and, if you get hit, then, you lose stuff off your tray. It's funny as hell, okay? It might not be the most impressive game ever, but it's free, okay? It might not be the most epic game ever, but it's free, okay? It might not be the funniest game ever, but it's kind of funny as shit, okay? That's right, and it's free. We made Joey's Meat Run on stream. We put it up on the IPFS site day of, streamed again, all right, to tell people it was there. As we sit back, as we create all of these apparatuses and these artifacts that now exist, as we make things with the community and put them up, as we are in the future now, and, making things like Screensavers, that's just an absurdity all in itself, okay? Not only that, this is the most ridiculous, crappiest screensaver you could ever possibly imagine seeing, okay? The thumbnail doesn't do it justice. It looks worse than that. Yes. Very funny. Laughter warranted. Alright? We're having a great time making this stuff. We love getting the occasional email, the occasional comment, alright? The occasional idea that graces itself and ends up being just inherently a fun, functional, toy or demo or working iteration of an idea, right? That inherently just holds its own as far as what one would want to even maybe contemplate or considering, maybe going back to, or maybe someone would go and contemplate or consider a component that they end up enjoying or liking to a certain degree or aspect, to where they would actually share that with, one of their friends or buddies or entities or individuals or significant others or spouses, okay? Either way you look at it, when you get into, how some individuals like certain types of games, like Wordle and things of that nature, right? Yeah, some Wordle fans. On our IPFS site, we have a word decryption game that you don't need to just wait and play one word one day at a time, okay? On our IPFS site, because we know people who love Wordle so much, we made Shyword RNML, okay? It's a word decryption game. Play it until your heart's content. It's free. People love these ideas and love these word games and love all this stuff so much that they're willing to tolerate a company lording and dangling a carrot over them. Okay, well, not that funny. to come back and just be riddled with ads to play a game for one more day. Rather, we have made now Shyword RNML. It's on the IPFS. It's in the arcade section amongst a trove of other games. Okay, that's right. Something to celebrate. It's all free. We made it because we knew people that loved Wordle, and they were tired of waiting to try and play one more round. All right, it's absurd for these giant corporations, companies, all right, to take technologies that's, out there and then try and riddle them with ads, bog them down with this, that, and the other over the top of them to where you can't even enjoy them conceptually. That's right. Something that gets under our skin as well. We definitely don't enjoy it. Okay? We don't appreciate having to, wait an entire day like it's, Animal Crossing on Nintendo Switch or something like that, right? To try and go search for, the next item or the next routine. There's a reason why people play with the coding on that game. There's a reason why we play with the, physics of what is, all right? And contemplate the physics of what can be, okay? We loves us some Pythagoras. That's right, everyone should. But as we sit back, as we, finish our cup of brew, we think to ourselves how the future is now, how the future is here, and how the future can continue to operate, grow, develop, and be of even more working merit. All right? All it takes is a little reaching out, a little handshake, a little reciprocal, compassion, forgiveness, okay, sharing, caring, love, all right, to be conveyed or construed across the table, all right, to another individual or entity, okay? When that happens, if that handshake, that sign of affection, forgiveness, love, correspondence is reciprocated, you end up making quite the dynamic, symbiotic, working, entangled relationship dynamic, theoretically, and or plausibly and possibly. It doesn't matter. Sounded good. But, alas, Internet, there is one last thing that we want to do, okay, before we depart. Okay, that's right. You might be saying, nah, fuck it, leave now. Hey, who was that? No, one last thing we're going to do. Usually, of course, you know us, we like to, because we're philosophers, and as philosophers, wanting to have our name in the hat of potentially good ones, right? We knew that every good philosopher needed to have their own poetry book, right? All right, well, you laugh all you want, but it's a requirement for philosophers. The good ones, anyhow. Okay? Well, we're not saying we're good, but, to get our name in the hat, we had to supply it, okay? So, obviously, we got a poetry book. And, it's in the hat. We could be good philosophers, maybe, okay? Don't worry about it. Point is that usually some streams, we like to pick a poem out or a cometry out and, entertain the idea of reading that, right? But on occasion, we like to highlight a passage in one of our other literary works or one of our other literary endeavors, okay, to share with anyone who feels like stopping by, listening to, any of the ramblings of crazy good old Shyzabox, right? But without further ado, right, we wanted to do one reading, okay, from one of our older works, okay? That's right. We wanted to do one quick reading from When I Can't Love. That's right. Yeah. When I Can't Love is one of those literary works that you can purchase, okay? That wasn't a joke. Go to Amazon.com, search Shyzabox books. That's right. It's one of those works you can purchase, okay? and have a complete disregard for its upkeep, okay? Well, you get it, and whenever you're running late, you just tear a page out and you slip it in someone's pocket, someone's notebook, someone's purse, okay? You take it, you buy it, you don't care what happens to it because you're ripping pages out and hiding them places so that people can encounter them later, okay? That's right. It's like a fun little game of hiding shit in someone else's stuff. You're going to jail, sir. Wrong game. Don't play that. It's all for philosophical entertainment. That was a joke. But we wanted to do a reading, all right, of one of these notes, okay, that one would tear out of here and slip into another significant others, another person's, you know, whatever, okay, so that they stumble upon it later and would be able to have a nice endeavor, a nice experience, a nice laugh in some cases, okay? That's right. But you get these things, you tear out the pages, you hide them, and someone comes up with them later. So we're going to share one of them with you now for free, obviously. You don't got to buy the book, we'll just read it to you. I can write my own notes. Fair enough. I'm not buying your shit. Okay, we get the point. Anyhow, for those of you that do buy our stuff, the hell, it's our show. Here's one of them that, if you get this, this is When I Can't Love, okay, by Shyzabox, available on Amazon.com. Tear this out, you hide it in someone's stuff. Someone, a significant other, probably. How much can I love you? Let me count the ways. 1 pizza, 2 pizza, 3 pizzas. A pizza party is on its way. That's right. You might be saying, I'm not putting that in anyone's shit. No. Then you don't know how much some people love pizza. That's right. Your loss. Alright, hey, that's fine. So, you didn't like that one. You're ripping out pages anyway. Just rip that one out and throw it away. Okay? Don't use that one. Leave it in the book. Donate it to Goodwill with like 3 left. Okay? No, don't do that. They probably wouldn't take it. They'll think it's destroyed, even though it's still usable. Is it, though? Objective. Alright, so we'll read one more. Okay, that's right. Now, this one is a little more serious, a little more practical, okay? It's not all about the fun games, the fun jokes, the fun, playings around and things of that nature, okay? It's also inherently very important to have the more serious components, the more, structured elements, okay, to the core foundations of what something is. So without further ado, we'll read one more, okay? That's right. This one's a little more, organized, a little more on the note of worth money. You get your money's worth. That's right. You got $1, we'll take it. Without further ado, love is like a flower. It blossoms from strong roots. May yours be watered forever. Ah, see? You get this. You tear that out, shove it in someone's pocket, they fall in love with you. Theoretically, maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe you weird them off. Point is that maybe they don't know who put it there. I don't know. Hopefully they do. Hopefully, there's some degree of it. But, there's elements, all right, of our works that have their place. You never know when you're going to be faced with a situation in the future, okay? And this is the stream that we're talking about, the future that's in the present, which is now be in the future, okay? You might want to buy this book that we wrote in the past, okay? Because you might need it. Believe you me, maybe you don't like the lovey-dovey ones. Maybe you don't want to, leave in someone's, person or their things a love note that's all mushy. You buy the book on Amazon, search Shyzabox books, you tear out this page. Someone later on in their day is like, oh, I'm having such a bad day. If only I had a little pick-me-up. Oh, what's this in my pocket I just found hidden in my lunch, okay? Oh, looks like my day's about to get better. Someone left me a little, note, and all they had to do was tear it out of a book. And spend money. Hey. Don't remind them of that part. It's the payoff that's so great. That's right. Pay us. All right. So you hide something like this in a significant other's, okay? And it might brighten their day. Might let them have what is, unbeknownst to yourself, a negative day or a negative experience or things like that. It might turn it away right off the bat, right out of the gate, and make it all the better for them, okay? So, without further ado, sorry, the last one out of this one, okay? I wanted to know how many times I said I love you today. This counts, but it's in note form, okay? That's right. Okay, so maybe it brightens someone's day. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's too lovey and mushy, okay? That's fine. Have your laugh at us, Internet. After all, we are Shyzabox. We can take it, okay? If there's one thing that we're able to do, it's accept being laughed at, okay? That's all right. Someone has to be okay with it. It's us. Okay, but say you don't want that lovey-dovey crap, all right? Say you want something a little more grounded, and you got a little sports star, a little niece or nephew running around, a little ankle biter, all right, that's, playing in the big game coming up, or has, fantastical ideas of becoming a sports athlete or something, okay? You don't want to overdo it with the lovey mushy stuff that you would find in one of the other, like, little, quick lunch note series books that we got, the When I Can't Love. You're looking for something a little more When I Can't Sport. You got your little kid or niece, nephew running by, you tear out a note from this book that, you buy. Okay, sure, we're peddling crap. Everyone has to. That's right. It's a hard world that we live in. You buy this, little sports star comes running by like, hey, niece or nephew or kid of my own, I guess the DNA test proves. Whatever. Say they have, a quiz coming up, or say they have a test in school. Say it's raining outside, all right? There's all sorts of stuff that little student athletes could use a pick-me-up with. So with the quick note series, you don't got to write that crap yourself. Okay? Fantastic. Right? We already did it for you. Give us a buck, and it's yours. I'm just writing down everything you say. Hey! Smart. Smart. You can tear something like this out. We're not going to. This has resale value to it. It's a full copy so far. We don't know anyone to put it in. Sometimes work is hard. Sometimes practice is hard. Work hard at practice, okay? That's right. It's notes like that that show a kid that you're probably thinking of, okay? In appropriate way. Right? Like a responsible adult and not a creepy internet adult. Well, sometimes that's not laughing matters. Point is that sometimes you don't want all that mushy lovey-dovey crap, okay? Sometimes you want something a little more grounded in the realm of what resonates with the individual, okay? A little, student athlete or something that, you don't want to embarrass during lunch, you don't need to send a lovey-dovey mushy note, all right? Or say, hey, testing days. It's backwards, we can't read it. Don't worry. On testing days, there's a section, you go in there, all right? Good luck on your test, sports star. Today you'll score big. All right, sure, you know? It's one of those things, man. Is it? Sure, a little cheesy, maybe. Yeah. But it shows you care, and it's something that interacts with, you know, a loved one, a cherished individual, a, you know, dependent, a niece, a nephew, a family member, or whatever, okay? A friend, okay? It shows someone enough of you were thinking about where they would be in the future, and you would purchase it in the present, which would become the past, theoretically, while you're waiting for it to show up in the present, which for you would be in the future, okay? When your order comes in, all right? And then theoretically, in the future from that point, you will take something out of what you bought in the past. You'll do that in your present, and you'll share that with someone going forward in their future to open in their present, which when they see you next time, will talk about their past, when they actually were able to come across it and actually interact with it and know that you were thinking of them because you had the foresight in the future to act in the present. That's right. Fantastic. So feel free to go check any of that stuff out on Amazon.theofcoms or Kindle of the Unlimiteds. You can get it digitally and just hand copy anything over that you don't feel like writing or recording or making yourself. That's right. Take all our ideas. Doesn't matter. Fantastic. When you've already written a poetry book and put your poetry book in the hat of being in the argument of being a good philosopher, whether you are one or not, okay? Doesn't matter. You're in the conversation. And when we called Daryl Dixon dibs of being the best and the worst internet celebrity there is, we knew that would be the case. So, thanks for stopping by. If you want to get out of here before us, now's your chance. Of course, we'll be venturing on and about with our works of whatever we end up getting into. Keep in mind, the update for Mayo Mental is up. There are now 4 modes with which you may fist Granny's Mayo until your heart content. There's also the games moved around the arcade section. Oh, and obviously the whole reason that we even jumped back on the working screensaver for Web3 is now available. That's right. And believe you me, if there's one thing everyone thought they needed in the future, it was a screensaver. Or no one thought that they needed one. Don't matter. No matter what, though, any way you look at it, remember to take care of yourself first. Anyone who needs it more than us second. Anyone who you like and or love more than us, unlikely, a little bit, but, you know, maybe, perhaps, take care of them third. But any other piddly scraps you got left over, we'll take it. Remember, we don't want your subscription, we want your money. So downvote the shit out of this, go to Cashapp and give us a buck.